Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot is in hot water. A new report reveals the city spent a big chunk of federal COVID relief funding on police overtime. Our Eric Cox has more on this.
The city of Chicago received $1.2 billion from the federal government for COVID-19 relief. And a new report reveals more than $280 million went to the police department. The city covering officer overtime costs as residents worry about making ends meet during the pandemic.
And now we're 4 months behind on our rent.
Denise Henderson and her wife Susan are both out of work and struggling to pay bills. They applied for rental assistance through the city, but never heard back.
I just don't feel like the police department needed it more than I did.
We have every right to be angry because I want you to know every neighbor you have who was denied housing assistance, we were prepared. We could have offered them that assistance. Every vacant storefront you see is a small business we could have supported with these dollars.
Chicago aldermen and community activists are calling out Mayor Lori Lightfoot, expressing disappointment over what they consider misplaced priorities.
Her actions seem villainous, but I come this morning less angry and more with a spirit of heartbreak that these resources that were desperately needed in an emergency we have never seen before has been put into our overfunded police department.
Chicago's budget office defending themselves on Twitter, saying, quote, "Had the city not used this reimbursement, we would have been forced to pass the burden on to our taxpayers." The mayor's team says $94 million from COVID relief funds were spent on homeless and housing assistance, and another $100 million was given to small businesses. But critics believe those amounts still pale in comparison to the over $280 million spent on police.
We all know somebody who is facing down the threat of eviction. So this is not an argument about technicalities and what the law stipulates the money can or can't be used for. This is about what responsibility does this mayor and does this city have to the people who call Chicago home.
In Chicago, I'm Eric Cox for BNC.
Chicago will receive more federal funding as part of a relief bill passed by Congress in December. The stimulus could include another $80 million for rental assistance and $24 million for vaccine distribution. And what is it like to develop the skills of a person you've known since he was a teenager, only to later negotiate a 9-figure contract for that same client? One NBA agent tells